Well, making movies. My grandmother gave me an 8 millimeter camera when I was very young, maybe grade school. Okay, that I would play with it and do my thing, and then get me my little editing stuff and a little glue, and you got that, and a little projector, and you did that, and that's how my bug got involved, and which was great in grade school and high school, and I did my little Halloween horror movies, yeah. Ooh, because you watch on TV the Frankenstein movies and that thing. You try to produce them like little plays, what have you. But that was my little bug. Didn't start getting serious until years later when I got a 16 millimeter camera. And black and white, of course, the stuff. That got my more advanced horror films. And now I could really take instead of 8 millimeter, I get my little 16. I get my little rewinds from somewhere. A little screen I have. Some company, some little itty bitty company. I think that's the same company that bought over Moviola, and were for penny stocks. They bought over the company and they destroyed it. But let's talk about my 16 millimeter movie making. I was told, why don't you go to this school down in Chicago called Columbia College? And Columbia College had a filmmaking course and editing course and sound course and things like that. And it was just simple student stuff. And you cut a film together and that makes you that thing for editing. You learn something about editing, and then you learn something about sound. You learn something about handling the camera and cinematography. My instructor was Jack Whitehead. He was a British screen photographer, BSc, British screen cinematographer. That's what he was. And his classes were very interesting, and discussions after his classes were interesting. But back to movie making. So every student makes their own little 30-minute movie. Okay. I said, well, I was told that I could go out and rent a camera from Jack Barron's rental house in Chicago. And I said, okay. So instead of my little Bolex camera here, my $700 Bolex camera, reflex camera, I could go out and rent a Arri BL for student rates, and I could shoot. And one of the first movies I got involved with Carol Berquist, lovely girl. Well, Carol and I were close because we got close because she would come to school on a bus, and I said, well, I could drive you home. It's on my way home. And then after a while, I would pick her up at work and then go directly to school. And everybody thought we were married. No, she had her own boyfriends. But we decided that, hey, let's do a film. We're students. And okay, she said, hey, let's do a diva film. Oh, she knew this woman at her work, and she worked for True Value. I just happened to be working for City Products, Ben Franklin stores. But besides that, we said, well, we could get wholesale stuff. I could get wholesale stuff. I was the costume guy, and my theater training in the background. I learned outside of cinematography, okay, set design, costume design, I went out and found my own costumes. Okay. I went to New York Costume House, which I did rent. I have to rent a costume from them. I learned makeup over there. And sound, I went to, school, we had sound. But then I went to Tyler's sound. Tyler. I don't remember his first name. But I know he was in sound because I helped him in some. You learn in this business to do commercial with other people. Okay? Yeah, as a student, you do a lot of work. So my life was going to work so I can make money, go home, go directly to school, and learn the trade. I wanted to be a cinematographer, but I found out that there were students. I running my own little Bolex, $700 Bolex. There were students there with their own REBLs. That's a $40,000 camera, and they some of the students had Steadicam. Yeah, you put the camera on. Yeah, my daddy bought that to me. Oh, that must go with that Lexus you got sitting in the parking lot. I'm going to go up against him. Well, Carol and I want to say, well, let's do a little DV film. She knew people. She knew somebody who had a restaurant, and we could get period furniture in there. Our costumes were 1900, and I got a little diva in there. And then we're trying to find an actor to be the guy, boyfriend of the diva, or it turns out to be I'm not a Tom Hanks. No. Yes, you are the quote. I'm not only the guy who set up the lighting for everything he shot, but I'm the guy who's standing in front of the camera. Now, we're in there in the restaurant with one camera, maybe 20, let's say 10 couples. Carol got them from here. I got a few people from my place where I worked, and we got started they closed the restaurant down for us, the Fred's, okay? And we bought dinner for everybody. Or Carol and I bought dinner, part of our budget for everybody, and gave them wine. Yes. One of the things I learned about that shot is, boy, I can melt those orange cords. We had low lights in there, 1,000-watt low lights and spots and the whole thing. I could melt those orange cords, the 15 amp stuff, and we were pulling 20 amps from some of this stuff. That was dangerous. But let's get back to the film. We shoot everything. We go to the Oak Park High School, and we were for stage shooting in that. We got that on a Sunday. We set some platforms up, and I was out there with my little spear singing away, and Mike Walker was the cameraman. And somebody else was doing sound. Sound? Oh no, we didn't have to do sound. There was all voiceover, singing over, yes, opera over. Okay, it was a lot of fun. I liked that. Okay, we get all that stuff, and what we're going to do, I went out and bought a synchronizer and rewinds, not my trash I had at home, but Moviola rewinds and synchronizers and this thing, a box here and a little movie scope, and we did it doing in Carol's basement. And of course, basically cost. I dipped into my savings account, and it was pretty well put in at zero. Borrowed money from my parents, and Carol got money from her parents and brothers and things like that. Well, everything's being done in her basement. One Saturday night, it rains. Really. I drive over to her thing on Sunday morning, and there's water in the street. I get out on the curbside. She says, I want to show you something. Open up the basement door. Maybe 2 steps from the top, filled with water. Yeah. Yeah. Can it be reshot again? Nope. As a student, you do it once. You do it twice, you're a professional. If I were to get into that restaurant, I would have to pay for the restaurant. I would have to rent the restaurant. I would have to go in there as a professional. All the actors would be paid. Right. Right. And I'm not going to go take out a $5,000 or $10,000 loan from a bank so I can do my student film. But basically, Carol and I said, that's it. She told Diva and that other stuff. People ask me, how's your film doing? Yeah, thing about round circle. All the stuff, sewage, gone. My synchronizer, my rewinds, this, and all that other stuff, everything. Master print, everything that was down there, we were cutting. It's all gone. And that's my thing into making movies. So then I was approached by Ron Bell. He had a contact of a guy who did illustrated books. Gory, I guess the guy's gory. But we did one of the books. He knew the guy. The guy was artist, and he said, "Hey, can we do one of your books?" And he said, "Oh yeah, go ahead and do it." Okay, so we did it. We did it in color, and we did the whole thing was in color. It was pretty elaborate. We even used the stage, by some of the locations. We used our historical societies over at Evanston Historical Society, Oak Park Historical Society, interior of Oak Park Historical Society, and that Ron just happened to work at Jack Barron's where I would rent the cameras, and he would rent the cameras. And we got a lot of good lighting. I brought a 2K out to Oak Park so I could shine it through a window. Mind you, a window, we want to light. Shine it through a window for sun. On that window, there was not sun. We needed sun kind of light coming through the window. So I went down there and got a 2K, and I tied into the box downstairs. They had a 400 amp box in the basement. I'm a cinematographer. This is what we do. We tie in. I tie in, and the lights flicker. My heart stopped. Took an hour to get my heart going again. The lights flicker. Who turned on my light? Somebody turned on the light. Don't touch. Don't touch things. Yeah, you know how people you have to put those blockout things on things. Nobody turns things on. I didn't do that, but we did our thing, and we did it. We got old cars, and we got this, and the locations, and we did this, and we needed that, and Ron knew people. I knew some people. Guess who was in the movie? Yes, sirree! Look at stupid me! I'm in the movie. I'm the guy with a beard, and we called it the Ice Works. Location shooting. We got permission to shoot in places we couldn't. The ice house was we got in it, and we got location shooting. We got all those thing, and well, we're students. The students get away with a lot of stuff. I will tell you stuff. Students get away with a lot of stuff. But that's our second venture. And then we get it. We get it all done. We got sound added to it, and we send a copy. Ron sends a copy to his friend in New York, Corey. We got a letter back from Corey's agent asking for $100,000 to sue us. The publisher said, do it, good friend. The agent said, I want $100,000 to sue you. I'm suing you. Okay. No. Alexandrov, the president of Columbia College, heard about it. He made a call to somebody in New York. Somebody in New York called the agent and scared the living daylights out of him. Okay, I'm not suing you. Well, now we decided, well, maybe we should do a reshoot. Use some of it, but instead of voice actors speaking and what I have like that, we cut it differently. So we did some more shooting. Now everything is in color now. Everything in color. And we said, it's not matching. The leaves were not matching. There's different times in that thing where our shooting stuff we shot. And it's not matching. So what are we going to do? Black and white. Transfer over black and white and have voiceover. And our Robert Edmonds did a voiceover. Well, that thing. One of our new script writers on it happened to be Gordon Weisenborn. He helped us on that. And again, and it was made for a hell of a lot less than $10,000. That's my original one with that thing. And again, volunteers all over the place. And again, everybody gets to keep their costumes. Yep. And again, yeah. And it did. We got about 22 minutes, which you're going to see. Download this thing. Called the Ice Works. Black and white, voiceover. And that's my bachelor's film. Yeah. That's a bunch of us who worked on it. Again, Columbia College students. We submitted this as a bachelor's film. And something, well, we got the Sweetwater theater players, actually of thousands. Well, originally we had a lot of people in the original cuts, but not on the last reworked stuff thing. It's that's, as they say, that's a student filmmaker for you. Again, it didn't cost $10,000. Now my master's film is something else, but that's something else. Okay. What else can I say about being a student filmmaker? I did commercials. I used my technology when I got a job working at a big company. They needed a video guy. Guess who? Yeah, they said, well, you're doing this 8 hours a day, 7.5 hours a day. Oh, by the way, you have to add on this thing, but we need to have. So I I put 12 hours a day in there for a decade. Well, that's it. Yes, to my comment to you, this is not a trade you want to get involved in. To me, it was a lot of fun. Very expensive. Didn't have any savings. Spent everything I had. If it wasn't for living at, quote, the house that I grew in and paying rent and that thing, I did pay my parents back. That's one thing I did. I got to work. When I got everything done, I paid my parents back. Okay. That's my little thing.